The earth is a beehive. We all enter by the same door.
The mystery and miracle of birth is universal. Women deserve to give birth safely with support and respect, no matter what or where. But this is far from being the reality. Africa, the birthplace of humanity, is seeing far too many women dying in childbirth unnecessarily. The question is why and who cares? I started becoming aware of birth when I first became pregnant and used to paint. As a mother, filmmaker, and birth doula, I care about women's experiences of giving birth. My intention is to raise awareness of a reality we know very little about and to focus on a remarkable project that aims to stop women from dying in childbirth.
I came to UK when I was 16. I came here as a refugee. I came from Sri Lanka. I did my schooling in London and I graduated from this university, this great university, University of Birmingham. As a medical student, I remember going to the hospital and I was told, get ready, get scrubbed up, there is a delivery in theatre. And I saw the baby being delivered and the room was filled with, just light and joy and so much happiness, being part of a profession that is about safe birth, bringing a new life into this world, was just seemed amazing. And that's what I pursued as a career.
It's just magic, the fact that a woman can grow a human and then go through all the process of labour and then give birth. It's this most magical moment, and I don't think you can ever match that feeling, really. Having the families let you into that space as well.
Woman is like the goddess because she gives birth to the people.
I'm blessed with 3 beautiful daughters. My middle daughter, Tara, she was born in South Africa. And it was in a nice private hospital. But I remember asking the doctor there, if you need blood during childbirth, where would you get that from? And the doctor's response was, why would you need blood? This is when I started to say my prayers. But I was filled with a total sense of gratitude that everything had gone normally for my wife and for us. But I know that this is not the case for women throughout the world.
So when I was thinking about global health, it was postpartum hemorrhage that I wanted to work towards, because women shouldn't be dying. They shouldn't be bleeding to death after birth, because it's preventable.
I felt that my gratitude should translate into me doing something about making a difference throughout the world.
You cannot determine where your feet will land.
Certainly in Africa, there are women who would gather their children before they go into a health facility to have a baby. And the discussion, the communication that they would have would go something like this. Mummy is going to the hospital to fetch a new baby. The journey is a dangerous one. I need to cross many rivers and seas, and I'm not sure if I would come back from this journey. So the mother actually prepares the children for the possibility of dying during childbirth. This is not something that we would have in this country because childbirth is safe.
Women are just amazing and they just need to be valued. What a woman goes through, you know, their pregnancy and their labour and their birth.
A mother is incomparable.
The main reason that women die during childbirth is from postpartum hemorrhage. So this is when the mother gives birth and you have a happy mother and happy child, everything seems normal, and then she starts to lose a little bit of blood, you know, and that's not uncommon. Many women lose small amounts of blood after childbirth, but then the bleeding continues and it can become more heavy and rapid. And all of a sudden you see the color draining from her face. And within a few minutes, if you don't do the right things at that point in time, the right interventions, then within a few minutes, you will start to see that she becomes shocked and unconscious. And before long, she will collapse and she could die.
I still remember the first postpartum hemorrhage I witnessed. I remember standing there watching this woman bleed and bleed. The woman was rushed to theatre, there was blood everywhere. It was really quite stressful watching it. I can't even imagine what it would feel like, how vulnerable you would be laying there.
So it is a very rapid sequence of events from a happy mother to someone who has died. So intervening at the right time with the right interventions is absolutely critical to save the life of these women. We started to work with partners at the WHO to develop projects and programs to tackle postpartum hemorrhage called eMotive. The trial, the eMotive trial, is taking place in 4 countries, in Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, and South Africa. We have got amazing partners. Adisa, Fatloon, Zahida, and Justice are local leads in these countries.
We say women delay to come, maybe, but they come, they die at our doorsteps. They die at our house. They die in our facility. So 30%, almost 30% of maternal deaths in the country are because of hemorrhage.
So a lot of times we underestimate the amount of blood that a woman has lost until her blood pressure starts going down. She starts saying, I cannot see, I'm feeling dizzy. Then we now look around and we see that, oh no, she's lost a lot of blood. And then we start running up and down trying to save her life. So early detection is key to our managing PPH.
And the intervention is basically training to healthcare workers of things to be done when a woman has postpartum hemorrhage.
So what is eMotive? Well, the E stands for early detection of postpartum hemorrhage. At the moment, whether the woman is bleeding excessively or not is often determined visually, subjectively. The care provider would have a look and see if the woman has lost a lot of blood or not. That's not very accurate. So what we are proposing is using a drape that can collect the blood, and we can objectively see how much blood has been lost.
So it's using a drape. So these drapes are marked. So you can see this is 300, this is 400, this is 500. So using that to identify postpartum hemorrhage. And then as soon as you do that, then you initiate a series of steps to be done to make sure that woman does not progress into severer forms.
The treatment itself is MOTIVE, and that's a bundle of care. MOTIVE stands for, the M stands for uterine massage. This is where we massage the uterus, and that can help the uterus to contract, and that can reduce the amount of bleeding. The O stands for oxytocic drugs. These are drugs that contract the uterus. T stands for tranexamic acid. It's a drug that can stop bleeding. IV stands for intravenous fluids. And the last E in MOTIVE stands for examination of the patient to see what is the cause of this bleeding and escalation of the patient to the right setting of care. So that is emotive intervention.
So here we have our drip. This is a drip that has come from the mother that we just conducted delivery 1 hour ago. So we have put it on the weighing scale. We are weighing it. As you can see, it is 540 grams. So after weighing the drip, I'm going to remove my gloves so that we have this patient, these stickers that you stick the baby's weight and the weight for the drip. As for this particular baby, the baby was 2580 grams.
First of all, for the first few months, we're going to take data, and Nigeria is actually having over half of the numbers of health facilities that emotive is working on. So this project is trying to see how do we get this, emotive, how do we get this guideline implemented in low resource countries or middle and low resource countries like in Nigeria.
Mimi nilikuwa na akili zangu kabisa, sijapoteza fahamu. Nilianza kujifungua salama, mtoto akatoka, wakamkata kitovu, kapelekwa kwenye kitanda kile wanachopimia watoto. Baada ya kutolewa lile kondo la nyuma, ndio damu ilipoanza. Kwa kweli nimepata huduma nzuri. Na laiti wasingekuwa madaktari wa hapa, mimi leo nilikuwa bye. Sababu nimetoka damu zaidi ya lita 2.
It's important to appreciate that emotive is addressing improving care for women who are bleeding in healthcare facilities. But of course, the challenges are much broader than that, starting with women even accessing care. Often women have to travel for many hours to get to a health facility, and there they may not have a healthcare provider to look after them even when they get there. There may be difficulties in terms of having the right medicines. They may not be available, or they may need to actually secure the medicines with their own funds, and they may not have access to those funds. So the problems are manifold, and we appreciate that we are trying to tackle one specific problem. But our team, the WHO Collaborating Center, we are determined to look at the broader picture too.
Looking at the mortality rate, which is very high, what do you think, in your opinion, what are the obstacles? What is leading to this?
The hospitals are overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
The traditional birth attendants are no longer allowed. The village dispensaries are not equipped to handle postpartum hemorrhage.
Now, girl-child education is still a huge challenge. We have thousands of our girls or millions of our girls that are still roaming around that are not in school. So that we have to tackle if we want to have any impact on our maternal health.
The numbers are not helping. If you have got 12 deliveries in a day or 8 deliveries in a day, and you have only maybe 2-3 midwives in a shift, it's not helping.
A lot of hospitals that deliver women don't have the facilities, the emergency obstetric care facilities. So they lack those emergency obstetric care facilities, and therefore will not be able to save a woman even if she develops a complication. So you can see it's a whole lot of interrelated problems. And if you try to address one and you don't address all of them, you will not achieve the goal you want. You've got to address every single thing.
Wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it.
When women are pregnant, they are supposed to initiate the first visit. Ideally, it should be as soon as they found out that they are pregnant. But because of the situation of HIV/AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, and the need to protect the unborn child, they must get tested. It's mandatory for the mother to go with the partner. You don't go with the father, then you won't get the services. Now, in a rural area, the situation is like, now it's really complicated. The economic situation especially. Our men migrate to urban centers to look for casual labor. So you might find out, the woman finds out that she is pregnant and the husband is in the urban area. So she cannot go until the husband is back. And if you're pregnant and you're not married, maybe it's from a result of an illicit sexual relationship, then in order to be attended, you have to present a letter from the local government that, okay, the father does not want to claim responsibility, so please, I need the services. So such dynamics. So it's a global and a national guideline, and when it comes down to implementation, although doesn't work, it has good intentions, it ends up producing unintended consequences.
Pregnancy should be a very happy time, and having a child is a happy event in the family. It's very difficult for me to think of this healthy young woman who carried a pregnancy to term, comes in the labor ward and doesn't come out alive. It's quite a trauma to the family and even the nurses in the hospital. So what happens after a woman dies like that? There's a newborn who doesn't have a mother anymore, and most of the time she will be sent home to the grandmother. Life changes for everybody.
An orphan calf licks its own back.
My daughter-in-law's name is Roslotoy. She was 32 years old. She used to be a farmer, and that is how she fed her kids. She gave birth at the hospital at around 11 p.m. at night. She wasn't due yet. But then, she started bleeding. So that's when they decided to go to Mombasa because they could not treat her here in Voi. So, along the way, we heard her breath, and she clenched her hand, and we knew she had died. We do not like it when somebody dies, as we will want them to be here with us. But when the Lord says it's your time, you cannot do anything about it. I've been taking care of the baby. I have no choice. She's now my child, and I have to take care of her. It takes a village to raise a child.
A birth in our tradition and culture is something that is highly celebrated, a pleasure for everybody in the family and even the community. It goes beyond the family because the whole community celebrates the birth of the baby.
Women prefer giving birth at the village, they say, because they know the nurses. And another thing is, the relatives can actually sit outside on the veranda waiting for you giving birth in the delivery room.
Most of our hospitals, we don't allow people in. We don't allow relatives. We don't allow husband. Now you come to a healthcare system. First of all, the environment is foreign to you, not like your home. Then you have to lie down. In most of our hospitals, you lie down to deliver. You cannot squat. They will scream at you if you squat. So you need people that are loving around you. You need an environment you're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. You need the total support of that whole system for you to go through labor. That is what is required.
When a woman goes into labour, we're animals, you know, we need a safe space that is calm. And when you feel stressed, you release adrenaline, and it has an impact on your labour. So a safe environment emotionally and culturally is important.
You're not really a woman until you experience the pain of giving birth. Portrays the feminine power, the woman's power. I am a mother, I am a woman. So they celebrate the pain. They call it a good pain.
A good pain.
Yeah, it's a good pain. The ability to tolerate the pain of giving birth.
The complex cultural challenges that we're working with you have to be sensitive to a lot of things.
Because this is a global project. It's beyond just our countries. We can show to the world, you know what? All you have to do is use a bundle approach. So that is what we want to prove.
As a midwife, it's quite empowering knowing that you have tools and a way forward to manage if a woman's bleeding. If you're still waiting for a doctor to come, you can do something.
If there is one message that I wish to put out to healthcare providers, to policymakers throughout the world, it would be this. Please, please start to see the constant tragedy that is unfolding right in front of us. From postpartum hemorrhage, every 6 minutes a mother is dying. And I think the important thing is to start to ask why and start to understand the specific problems in your setting. And hopefully what we are doing, the emotive intervention and other work would inform your solutions. But it's really important to start to look at this and open your eyes.
Birth, the gift of life, our beginning into life, thanks to the women who carried us in their wombs. We are here to honor mothers and the act of birthing, to remind us that each one of us sat in our mother's womb, to make sure that we do not abandon them, to make sure they are cared for, seen and heard, no matter where in the world.
Mwana wito diena wega, mwana wito, mwana wito diena wega, netokonana, netokonana kumatwine, netokonana, netokonana kumatine duko nevigo totigairie hanini toke duko nevigo totigairie hanini toke gayaro koiga Gayaro kuiga na imeria matwine Gayaro koiga